And we are rolling. Hey everybody, my name's Zach. A lot of my friends call me by my middle name, Wolfgang, and this is my podcast called Figure It Out Later. Um, the name of it kind of comes from the fact that I didn't know what I wanted to do with a podcast, didn't know if I should start a podcast, not knowing if I'm interesting enough for it or not. Um, then trying to figure out what I want to do with it. Like, is it going to be about this one subject? Is it going to be stories from work? Is it going to be talking about nerdy shit? Is it going to be, I don't know, is it just going to be me? Is it going to be me and a few friends? I don't know. I said I'll figure it out later. And, well, there's a name for you. Um, and I was always kind of nervous about putting anything out that's kind of just, you know, entertainment or anything because I always get a little self conscious of putting stuff out. Um, but I saw this cool post on Facebook. It said, it was Facebook or Instagram, I forget which one, but basically saying, like, wow, everyone's coming out with music, coming out with a podcast, doing things on YouTube. And how awesome is that, that we live in an age where we can do that? Everyone should be able to go out there and, release content if they want to. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to. I'm going to finally start up this podcast because I've been thinking about doing it for like a year and a half, 2 years. Um, I know I've been like going back and forth with my friend Andrew, who maybe one day I'll convince to be on the show. I don't know. Going back and forth with him, like, dude, we should start a podcast. You and me will talk for like 3 hours straight about the most random shit. It would be funny as hell if we like people listening to us. I feel like it would be entertaining somehow. And I think he's kind of in the same boat as me, where it's like, oh no, it's gonna be embarrassing. It's gonna be nerve wracking. But hey, maybe I can get him on here. I don't know. I'd like to because he's my best friend. Um, and like I said, when it comes to what is it going to be about, I think I'm just going to do kind of a variety of like different things I'm interested in. If you can't tell from my decor in here, I'm a comic book nerd. I'm really into Marvel comics. I like some DC. They've kind of let me down in some of their storylines recently. 2 years ago, I fell out of them. Maybe I'll get back into it. I don't know. Um, but yeah, Marvel's my go-to. I love a lot of things Image does. They kind of go outside the norm of like your normal superhero stuff. They do some awesome like horror, sci-fi things. I love it. Um, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd too. I love to talk about Star Wars. Jurassic Park, huge Jurassic Park nerd. Um, I'm from Southern Maryland, uh, born and raised here, and my team is the Capitals. I have a lot of Capital stuff on this wall here. I can't move the camera. I'll eventually get a better camera. Because it's just on my monitor. Um, Music. I'm really into music. I've played guitar in a variety of bands. Thrash metal band back in high school, pop punk band in college. Uh, been in start. I've tried starting different alternative rock bands and stuff here and there. Uh, I'm thinking of diving back into the music a little bit too. Start kind of getting my creative juices flowing again, and maybe this will help me jumpstart it. Um, this is the first episode I'm recording. This is my first time trying to do anything like this, so I know it's going to be extremely awkward. That's why I'm titling this first episode "Awkward Pilot Episode." Because if you think of like any podcast, well, I have heard a few podcasts from like their first episodes. One of my favorite ones is Lead Singer Syndrome. That's Shane Told of the band Silverstein. He talks to different singers from different bands, and I remember the first episode was he was getting his footing, but he's very charismatic, and he was talking to friends of his that he's met like on tours and stuff. So it was a little easier going, just kind of shooting the shit with some friends. Um, but I remember the first episode being a little awkward. And a good way to look at it is sitcoms. A lot of sitcoms, when they first start out, they're going to be super, super awkward. A couple good examples actually. The Office. That starts off so awkward. Um, Parks and Rec, the whole first season was super awkward. The show Community, that's probably one of my favorite sitcoms out there. This first episode's super awkward, but all those shows, they kind of get their footing after that first little bit of awkwardness, and just kind of see what works, see what doesn't work, build up off of that, and go from there. And hey, maybe this will be kind of the first little awkward footing, and then slowly we can get into something a little bit better. I'm also not the most tech savvy guy out there. I definitely want to learn how to like do stuff. I want to learn how to like edit this stuff, make thumbnails, because I'm gonna post this first on YouTube, then figure out where I can put it up at, like if I can get it on Apple's podcast or Spotify's or SoundCloud. I know some people put podcasts on SoundCloud too now. Um, I'm not sure what else to talk about really. Just kind of putting my feelers out there, see if I can start this up, see how I feel talking in front of a camera. Um, just say, hey, I'll figure it out later. So yeah, I think this first one's gonna be fairly short. It's 2021. It is January 31st, and I'm recording this. Here where I live in Southern Maryland, it's snowing outside. I think last time I checked, it was about a inch and a half. They're saying we're supposed to get 4 to 6 inches here, but I don't think we're going to get that much. We never do down here. Um, and I think they said that it's going to turn to rain in the middle of the night, which is going to become freezing rain. Tomorrow's going to be really icy. So that's going to be fun driving to work tomorrow. Um, I've worked as a pharmacy technician for 5.5 years. I don't know if just because corporate companies like to crack down on their employees, I don't think I can say the name of the company. I can just say that it has 3 letters in the name. Work with that in the pharmacy. Now I just kind of work as like an expansion of it. Still in the store, but like a new thing that they're doing in the store. It's weird. As of right now, that's where I'm working. And I've got some funny stories from working there for so long. Just the craziness of working in a pharmacy is working a retail job, but throwing drugs on top of it. So we get some crazy motherfuckers coming in there. And I remember my second day on the job, I got into, like, I had just had this guy I didn't know what he wanted. And he just kept pushing something. And the pharmacist that was on duty that day, it was my second day, and the pharmacist on duty, who I still work with, she's still back in the pharmacy. I talked to her a bunch. Came over, and they had some words, and she like stormed off, and I'm just like, oh, this is how work's gonna be. um, but I've got a collection of a bunch of stories that definitely gonna have like a few episodes in the future, just me telling stories about these people. Um, Along with those funny horror stories, I've made a lot of cool friends. There was one customer I actually like I became friendly with. She's a little bit older than me. She's probably, I think, about 10 years older than me if I think about it, maybe a little more. I'm 25, so she's kind of mid 30s, maybe early 30s. I don't know. But she has 2 kids, and her and her husband had season tickets for the Capitals. So whenever she'd come in, her kids were always wearing like Caps gear, and I would like talk to her son like, hey, who's your favorite player? Or hey, did you guys watch the game last night? And yada yada yada. She actually offered me, said, hey, me and my husband were season ticket holders, and we can't go to weekday games because we got little kids. One's at the time was like 7 or 8, the other one was 5, and said, yeah, we can't go to the weekday games because they're in school, and of course the games can go to like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and we'd be in DC, have to drive all the way home. Where I live, we're about 45 to 50 minutes outside of DC, depending on what route you take, traffic, all that fun stuff. Um, so she's offered me and says, "Hey, so here's my number. Any games during the week that you want to go to, we have 2 tickets for you." And I would pay her. We'd go to games. It was a lot of fun. It was like cool little experiences like that. I have met great people through my job, but those aren't good stories to tell. Everyone wants to hear the horror stories, and I am happy to oblige with those. Um, yeah, I don't know where to go from here with this. I'll figure it out later, I guess. All right, so we're at an 11-minute mark here. I really under, I really overestimated myself. I thought maybe I could get 20 minutes into this episode. Um, Maybe I talk too fast. Try slowing down my speech a little bit. Um, I know I want to learn more about this stuff. This is probably not going to reach a lot of people in the first episode. Maybe some people on my Facebook page. Other than that, I don't really know where else I'm going to go with this. Hey, if it expands further out and people like kind of see it, hey, awesome. But I'm kind of more doing this just to be a little creative, make some content saying, "Hey, look what I made." Um, yeah, from so if anyone is able to give me some pointers on like talking in front of a camera, or give me some editing know-how, because I do want to like make a title card somehow with this and put some music into it that I can. I have an idea for a song that wouldn't be flagged by like copyright or anything, so that'd be cool. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try my best to learn on my own, and but if anyone has any tips on what to do, where to start, I greatly appreciate it. Um, yeah, let's end the awkwardness here. We're at about 12 and a half minutes now. Um, this is Wolfgang signing off. This is the Figure It Out podcast. Figure It Out Later podcast. Awkwardness is not stopping. Okay, I'm done. Bye.